Hello.
What? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jack's Treasures on a Whatnot Wednesday. I'm wearing my Whatnot shirt.
I'm not.
You don't have a Whatnot shirt.
I don't.
You do not. Today, this is our ongoing series of questions and answers that people have asked us or that we have asked other people or just stuff that we made up, okay? But on every single Monday, we cover storage units. We just did one on storage units that was really, really good.
It was.
You know.
And I had a couple of questions asked in the comments for that we're probably going to cover on our next one.
Yeah.
Shout out
and
to our
Romans.
viewers. And we did have Roman too. I actually need to reply to that. That was interesting.
We got to meet Roman last
long.
week. That's what she said. So, I did that on video now. Oh, God, I'm taking it to YouTube. Today's Whatnot Wednesday. What we do is we talk about stuff that has to do with Whatnot. And then on Friday, we just make stuff up. So, what are we going to talk about today?
Today is Whatnot Wednesday. We're going to talk about shipping on Whatnot. What?
She is our shipper on Whatnot, by the way.
I do most of the shipping. Brian does help out a lot, especially on the big shows. Give me 1 second.
Just to let you guys know, too, this one will probably be covered in about 5 different episodes. We'll probably cover each one of the things we're going to talk about today in different episodes. Because I think literally shipping is the biggest issue that everybody has with any of the live selling platforms, whether it's District, whether it's Whatnot, whether it's Posh, whatever it may be.
Let me start by saying this on Whatnot.
We've already started, so this would be start number one.
If you don't want to make it complicated, shipping on Whatnot can be insanely easy. Type in the exact shipping on each item, leave standard shipping alone, let the buyer pay, and you have nothing to worry about.
That's right.
Zero.
There.
But
unless you have a show where you have to do adjustments and stuff like that, and we're going to talk about adjustments on the show. But what we're going to talk about today is really how to utilize shipping to your best advantage. Good word.
Yes.
Yes. We're back from Ohio, by the way, guys. So we're back in the thing. We had an awesome time up in Ohio and Kentucky.
We did.
We got to meet Roman, which was a huge surprise and just absolutely phenomenal.
And we got to hang out with Ken and Jill, SSK Promo and Kacherka on Whatnot. And I love discounts_com. It's Tony and Lysandra.
Or just .com on YouTube, or not YouTube.
Well, I was giving Whatnot names. This is Whatnot Wednesday.
Oh, that's a very good idea.
That's why I give everybody's
And we got
names.
to see the cabin.
We did.
Wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. Okay. It was amazing. It is literally a little slice of heaven on earth. Okay. So it was just a great time. I fell and just about broke my knee.
And told everybody about it.
I did. But I did win the bingo fill out the card game. I did win that. Yes. Okay. Which you tried to, it was designed to try to embarrass you. And I was like, yeah, it's not happening with me. Okay. I embarrassed myself. So I ain't worried about it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let's talk about shipping.
Is that what we're supposed to be talking about?
We're talking about shipping.
We're talking about shipping. We're only 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
First of all, like I said on Whatnot, it can be insanely easy. Put in your numbers, ship, go from there. But there are options. The options that you have to do, you can do what is called reduced shipping, which is where the buyer pays up to a certain amount and you cover above it. You can do free shipping.
Well, hold on 1 second. On the reduced shipping,
we're going to cover these more in detail. I'm just talking all the time. You can do free shipping, which is where the seller pays 100% of the shipping because there's no such thing as free shipping. And there is maxed out shipping, which is where you utilize flat rate boxes to hit a cap. And anyway, we'll talk about each of those in detail.
With reduced shipping, one of the things, when you have reduced shipping on too, when people are scrolling through, and a lot of people do what's called a scroll search, is they'll scroll up and down on their phones. Reduced shipping will pop up in the corner of your screen, of your thumbnail. And that's actually a great benefit because when people see that, it's like, oh, wow, they're doing reduced shipping. That means that I know I'm only going to pay a certain amount.
I have also heard that it helps in the algorithm to help, you show up a little bit higher in the search. I don't know. I don't understand the algorithm. It's a big mystery.
You got to do algorithm with it. Algorithm. There you go.
But in any case, if you're doing a show of smalls, you can have that reduced shipping on it and it's not going to affect you one little bit. For instance, we're doing a knife show Friday. Nothing, I mean, it's all small, little tiny things. Somebody can buy out the show. And we're not going to have to pay any additional shipping.
No, it literally fits in one tub right there.
So there's no reason not to offer that reduced shipping on a show like that.
So
now,
come on over on
the show
Friday.
we're doing today, plush, it can at times get a little testy, especially with the bigger plush. I don't have but maybe one or two larger plush today. It's going to be fine. I'm going to
It's definitely on that case. It's the size of the box, not necessarily the weight.
Can y'all hear that?
Y'all can hear that. I know you can hear it because I can hear it and I'm deaf.
But anyway, we are going to offer reduced shipping on this show. It may require a little bit of, configuring to make it work, but
we're going to talk about another thing that's part of that Whatnot makes it very, very super easy. And if you're not taking advantage of that, you're just missing the boat. I mean, literally, they're giving you an opportunity to run a show like this and have it work out.
Now, let's talk about free shipping. We have not done a free shipping show yet. No. I was ready to go. We were going to set one up yesterday, and I did question about whether this was good inventory to do it, and we decided not to do this particular show. But we will be doing a free shipping show, I think. Okay, Brian says no, so I guess we're not.
We were ready to do one and stuff, and the whole thing with the free shipping is this, okay? You have to, the key of free shipping is selling multiple items to the same buyer.
Right.
Okay? And making enough, obviously, to cover the shipping. Now, our friends, Tony and Lysandra, did a free shipping show. They made a ton of money. They had a lot of extra people that came into the show. And that's one of the things about it. When you do a free shipping show, you're doing it for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to say free shipping on your show, and I guarantee you're going to get, people are going to see that and they're going to be like, hell yeah, I can go in on that one all the time. Okay. And they did have, I think she said she had about 60 orders. Now, they normally average about 300 orders during one of their shows. I might be wrong on that, but I'm just taking a gander. She said she had 60 that were like one-offs. They only bought one item. And so they lost the shipping on that. But on the overall, and that's what we need to concentrate on is the overall results of that show. Now, I think she said she ended up paying something like $70 or $80 of shipping.
And that's very reasonable.
Like
for the size of their shows, I think that would work out really well.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for us was making sure that when we do a show, it doesn't have any of the super low dollar items. Because
that's not it to me. To me, the big thing is we need to have as many people in the room that are bidders.
Right.
Okay. Because we're planning on doing it and starting everything off at $1. So if we're starting everything off at $1 and it goes for $1 and it's going to cost me $4.90 to ship it, I'm now down, $4.
So basically. That's why I'm looking at making sure we're not having items in there that are likely going to go for $1. But it's just something we've got to work the details out before we get that going.
But it is a huge benefit. If you want to know more, check out some of these shows. Green 13 regularly does free shipping shows on jewelry. Jewelry's a great item because it never really weighs that much. The maximum shipping on that is going to be about $4, $5, maybe tops. But that's a great show for it. But here's the thing: his room size is about 150 to about 120 to 180 people in a room. So that's a great one. Ours is about 30. So right now, it's not something we're willing to take that thing on unless we want to start growing a little bit. And that's the thing. Free shipping will help you grow.
Right.
You'll lose money, but it's going to help you grow. Just like promoting listings, promoted shows. That's a loss of money. You don't get anything from it.
Like
doing giveaways. Okay. We just got approached to do a show where we're if you reach a certain level, you have to give away a $150 item or $175 item. Well, that's a lot of money, but of course you're making a lot of money. On the free shipping, you don't know how much money you're going to make. Right. That's the key on that one right there. I'm fairly confident that we would make enough. She's not so confident that we would make enough. So rather than us bickering over it.
I'm confident, just not on that particular show, I think is what it comes down to.
So, and I know the show, but I'm going to have a happy wife. Let's just say that. Okay. Because she'll stab me at night. All right. And then the next one is maxed out shipping. Maxed out shipping we have used like abundantly. Okay. It's not necessarily a specific setting. It won't pop up on a scroll.
But it is where you use flat rate boxes. And anything that is up to 70 pounds will ship in a flat rate box for that $9.21 or whatever the total exactly is.
Which that is an awesome thing. You're talking about $9.21 using a small, medium, or a large flat rate box. And a large flat rate box is $18.
Those are the best for items that are smaller and heavier. Like knives,
coins,
video games, coins, things like that. Those work
tools.
That has been a lifesaver when we do tool shows, because you have a hammer that might be 5 pounds by itself, which would knock it into the next weight class no matter what. But run that, it's been amazing.
Yeah. And you set up all of this stuff in your profile, which we'll go over that in another one.
I forgot something we didn't write down. And that is the PWE shipping. That is another option that you can choose, which you have to have that unlocked.
Do you want to explain what PWE is?
I'm going to.
I'm sorry.
You have to have that unlocked, and that allows you to ship an item under $20 value that is small and flat.
That's the key. It has to be under a $20 value. You cannot put a $50 gift card in that. In
a, quote, plain low weight envelope, which for us, they're always colored because we got them out of a storage unit. But you're just able to ship it for that, and it's usually about 79 to 99 cents, and that's great for gift cards, for giveaways, for
up to $20.
Trading cards for giveaways, stickers out of your bin, anything that is small, flat, and cheap.
Yeah.
But that is another shipping option that you should be taking advantage of, especially if you do trains that require giveaways.
Yeah.
You will save yourself a fortune.
Yes. Whatnot also allows you to mess up 3 times. 5 times. Oh, and let me rephrase. Not really mess up. Oversell.
Yeah.
Okay? Like our plush that we have here in the back. We got a huge Pikachu back here. We got a big old plush back over there. We got about 5 plush over here. Now, one person, let's say they buy all of the largest plush that we have. Okay?
That's bigger than a 12 by 12 by 12 box.
Right. So that is an adjustment that Whatnot covers.
And it will
work
up
to 5 times,
it will work
by the way.
2 ways.
A week.
It will work
not
2
a
ways
month,
too.
not a year, not a day. It's 5 times a week.
And I can either adjust it to a larger box, which there is a limit on that because it cannot be an oversized box, or I can use an adjustment to break an order down into 2 orders.
Called unbundling.
Unbundling, which that's, for this show, that's more likely what we would do. But if someone buys that horse, they buy that Pikachu, they buy this giant Lady in the Tramp, they buy a couple of Squishmallows, that's going to become an oversized box. But instead, I'll break it down into 2 12 by 12 by 12 boxes.
We're not going to put those in poly mailers, or we're not going to do that. And we ship in boxes, and I recommend everybody to ship in boxes. That's the best way to protect the product. Remember, you don't own the product once you sell it.
The only plushes I send in poly mailers are ones like this. They're small, and they do not have any hard pieces that can tear through. That I would ship in a poly mailer by itself.
Sometimes if it goes for a lot of money, we'll double poly mail it, and sometimes we'll even put it in a box.
Yeah, if that sold for $20, I'm boxing it anyway.
Yeah.
But if that sells for $2, I'm gonna slide that in a poly mailer.
But you get 5 adjustments a week, and you should be using all 5 adjustments throughout the week. And I think it restarts on like a Sunday afternoon.
Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
So we have a show, and let's say we're on a raid train and we sell video game consoles. We're going to be doing adjustments on that because a lot of times our same buyer will buy multiple consoles. And so we'll have to make an adjustments on that because the weight on those things will go up quick. Okay.
Or if you're selling any item that is bigger than 12 by 12 by 12, if you don't do its own special profile for that item, you are going to be doing an adjustment.
Yeah.
For instance, we sold a vase the other day, and it was 20 inches tall. I knew going into it that was going to be either an adjustment or me having to do a special category. I just chose to do an adjustment.
We have another one coming up where we have a 24-inch, almost a 2-foot tall glass Roadrunner bird in a Battle of the Best. Again, we're going to set up a profile for that one because it's only one item, or we'll do an adjustment on that depending on how we are. So that's Whatnot just basically saying, hey, you did a great job on your show. You sold all of this stuff to the same guy, and even though all of the weights we had in there were correct and everything was in there
size.
correct, the size of the box when
because at the end of the day, what you got to remember about Whatnot shipping, size matters.
Size matters. All right. Also, if you're not going to do this and you just want Whatnot to handle everything, there's a couple of things that you need to do. Remember to put in the weights, okay? Put them in the correct weights too, okay? Put in that, it's like 4 to 7. If it's 4.7, it's 7, okay? Yep. 4 to 7, all right? And use the correct labels, okay, for those.
Very important.
All right?
Flat rate label has to go on a flat rate box.
That's right.
A priority label can go on any box.
That's right.
A ground label cannot go on a priority box. I've done it by mistake. I knew what I was doing. I just picked up the box. I'm like, oh, that's going priority. That's obviously 5 pounds. No, I screwed up.
Yeah, it happens and stuff. And we got a great post office they hold it off to the side and they say, hey, this one's
but not every post office is like that.
No, we've heard horror stories of some other post offices.
Horror stories?
Horror stories. That's my Frankenstein impersonation because Halloween's coming. So we are going to talk more about each one of those things because with the shipping, it is probably, in my opinion, the most anxiety people have about Whatnot, aside from being live in front of a camera, is the shipping part.
Right.
And it can really bite you in the behind if you don't do it right. If you don't do, are you calling me a butthead?
No, I'm just biting you in the behind.
That would be, you're doing it near my face. Oh, that's what, rude. Okay, make sure, these are just our opinions, by the way, guys. If you have any other differing opinions and your name is Roman, just leave some comments down there below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also help us out with Stop Soldier Suicide. We are definitely making a difference. I'm hoping that we can get that number down, okay? 20 soldiers a day, way too high, okay?
Yes.
And as always,
pet a cat.
Peace out from Jack's Treasures.
Bye.
Bye.